I guess I just have to be even more vicious, even more ferocious, even more steadfast in my ability and my mindset. You know, my mindset going into that fight was, it doesn't matter what this kid does. It doesn't matter what he may or may not be capable of. I am not going to stop until I am pulled off of this guy.
Chris Eubank Jr. made jaws drop when he promised to unleash a ferocious assault on Conor Benn in their long-awaited rematch.
He's calm now, he's not emotional.
Calm. I like him now. I like him now. I'm going around in new roles because he's undisciplined. What do you mean? I cannot say thank you to the man. I am bowling about in a 500-grand motor because of you. I cannot say thank you, Chris.
No, you know.
I'm grateful, mate.
He may truly believe that he has this new kind of outlook and feel and approach to me or the fight. That may be what he genuinely believes, but at the end of the day,
I'm getting here and want to punch your head in, yeah, no doubt.
When that bell goes and those fists start flying, I think that he will revert back to what he is, which is an emotional kid who gets caught up in the moment and will make those mistakes.
During a tense face-to-face meeting ahead of the November 15th showdown, Eubank Jr. looked directly into Benn's eyes and spoke with the kind of cold assurance only a man who's already won could have. He made it clear that his goal wasn't just to beat Benn again, it was to make a statement. Having gone all 12 rounds with him in their first clash, Eubank Jr. said he plans to finish things far more decisively this time around. The previous fight, held earlier this year in London, ended with a unanimous decision win for Eubank after a brutal back-and-forth war. It was a fight that tested both men's conditioning, heart, and willpower, but Eubank insists the rematch won't be as close. He claims he's coming in with an even more ruthless mindset, determined to force the referee's hand if necessary.
The world is going to watch the rematch live on DAZN, November 15th, unfinished business. Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn. We could do this all day. I don't think you boys would.
Oh, what, we done now?
Stop.
Oh, mate, I'm just getting started, Chris. I'm actually enjoying this. I'm actually really enjoying
it. I think everybody watching in the room and at home is enjoying it. Guys, I cannot wait to see the rematch. I won't ask for a handshake.
So happy. I would give him a handshake, because I'm that sort of gentleman.
I won't ask. Now you're best friends, I won't ask.
Cool, come on. Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Cool. You're a good guy, Chris. I can't wait to share a room with you again, mate.
I'll try to
punch the living life.
His confidence, though, hasn't gone unchallenged. Conor Benn wasted no time setting the tone. With his trademark fire and conviction, Benn told Eubank Jr. that this time the story would be different, that the tricks and tactics that worked before wouldn't save him again. It was a bold moment, one that instantly turned their meeting into a tense standoff. Benn's energy, his self-belief, and his refusal to back down electrified the atmosphere. To him, this rematch isn't about revenge, it's about proving that he's evolved into a better, sharper fighter who's ready to flip the script.
Ain't working.
It's the fight game.
Ain't working. See these mind games that you try and do?
And you're learning.
This is where he's got to revert back to. This is where you got to revert back to try and get under my skin.
Truth.
Say what you like. Say what you like. I'm going to systematically beat you. Systematically beat you. Oh, you like that word? Systematically beat you November 15th.
That's the biggest word I've heard you use.
To right, biggest word I've used personally. Yeah, no, I rate it.
Systematic.
Thought I'd drop it in there today.
As the rematch edges closer, opinions across the boxing world have become fiercely divided. Some see experience as the deciding factor in Eubank's favor, while others believe Benn's hunger and youth might finally swing things his way. The fight has become one of the most talked about events of the year, and every former champion seems to have a different view of how it will play out.
I'll tell you something now. I am so confident Conor Benn wins this fight. And listen, you know I always back our guys, and sometimes I can get romanticised by just, being part of the team. Conor Benn looks totally different for this fight.
Among them is Carl Froch, who knows Eubank Jr. better than most. Having shared countless rounds of sparring with him, Froch admires both men. Eubank for his toughness and Benn for his relentless drive. But even he admits this is a hard one to call. Looking back at their first fight, Froch was impressed with how Benn stood toe-to-toe with a naturally bigger and more seasoned opponent. He believes Benn pushed himself beyond expectations and proved he belonged in that stage. Froch, however, was still slightly favors Eubank Jr., mostly because of his strength and durability, though he openly admitted he wouldn't mind seeing Benn and something big this time around. For Frog, Benn's youth gives him time to keep improving, but he still considers Eubank the safer pick heading into the rematch.
Conor Benn might be able to turn it around and change it. He might be able to box a bit calmly behind the jab, take his time a little bit more, and then maybe pick his shots a bit better and not rush things and walk into things, because he did hurt Eubank in round 3 in the first fight. Can he capitalise on that by being a bit cuter behind the jab and trying looking for a smart shot rather than trying to look for a wild shot by just forcing the pace and pressure against Eubank Jr. doesn't work. I know from sparring him, you put him under the cosh and he fires back. He fights fire with fire. He always has done, and he was able to finish stronger, which was, plaudits to him. I was shocked by the fact that he could finish strong because he took this weight off and there was a rehydration clause. I believe he's doing the same weight, 160 pounds. That's what's agreed. And I also believe there's a rehydration clause as well, so he won't be able to go over, is it 9 or 10 pounds the next day, which is going to be difficult. But he signed a contract. He's getting paid well. It is what it is. We'll have to wait and see what happens November 15th. Like I said, not much to report. They've kind of been there, seen it, done it. We know who's won. I'd say Eubank Jr. is still the favourite going into this one, as he was in the first one, but he's a bit older, a bit more worn out from that first fight, and he's still got to make weight, still got to do the rehydration clause, so things could change. But yeah, me for one, I'm looking forward to see these two go at it again. I'm going to go there and sit and watch it live this time instead of watching it on TV, which is always good.
Amir Khan, another former world champion, offered his own insight into the rematch, having faced his share of massive fights under pressure. Khan leaned slightly toward Eubank Jr. as well, and his reasoning came down to experience and mental strength. Khan sees Eubank's previous win as a psychological advantage. That quiet confidence that comes from knowing you've already done it once. He believes that edge could help Eubank stay composed in the chaos, especially with a home crowd rallying behind him. Still, Khan didn't write Benn off. He acknowledged Benn's growth since their last meeting and boost in confidence that comes from surviving 12 rounds with a bigger man. But in Khan's eyes, Eubank's composure and ability to control the mental side of the fight might be what ultimately tips the balance.
I think Conor will do a little bit more because he knows he had a little bit more left in the tank from the last fight, that he could have done more, but he was just holding back a little bit. So I think it'll be a closer fight than the first one, but I think Eubank will still take that fight. Maybe just take the win, because Eubank will have the confidence that he's beaten once before. He's bigger than him physically, and finally, I think experience. Yeah, I mean, and because he's the favorite going into fight, people are always going to be. I think one thing about Eubank is that I think he's won a lot of fans over lately. A lot of people give him a hard time. He's a nice guy, man. He's not a bad guy. And I think he's won a lot of fans over, so yeah, respect to him there.
Tim Bradley views the rematch from a completely different angle. He's been studying Benn closely and believes the fighter fans will see this time is not the same one who lost in April. To Bradley, the first fight exposed not Benn's lack of skill, but his lack of emotional control. He sees a version of Benn now that's more mature, a man who's learned how to keep his emotions from dictating his performance. Bradley thinks that if Benn can stay patient and tactical instead of fighting out of anger, he could far be more dangerous. In his opinion, a calmer Benn has the potential to finish the job early, especially if he stays disciplined and picks his moments instead of rushing in.
Yeah, I know that rematch is coming up soon, and Chris Eubank Jr. Yeah, shoot, look, Conor Benn can knock him out. Conor Benn can knock him out in the rematch. Oh yeah, couple things he gotta do though. Boxing one-on-one, man, when you're fighting a taller guy, you never want to step back in straight lines. You want to exit the sides. He stepped back in straight lines. He allowed Eubank to extend with those long arms, so he's getting caught on the end of his shots a lot of the times. Another thing, early on, got too reckless. You got to be more reserved, my man. Act like you've been there before. You got to control those emotions, all right? A lot of swinging, a lot of wild swinging, a lot of energy wasted early that you could have had on the back end, and you could have finished stronger, but you didn't. You wasted a lot of energy swinging that air. Mad, intense. Hey, controlled aggression. That's what it gotta be, Conor Benn. Control.
Johnny Nelson took a slightly tougher stance on Eubank Jr.'s development. While he respected the veteran's skills and adaptability, he wasn't convinced that Eubank had shown any significant improvements since their first meeting. Nelson pointed out that if Eubank truly had the power to stop Benn before, he likely would have done it. Instead, what impressed him most was Benn's grit and refusal to crumble under pressure. To Nelson, that experience gave Benn the kind of battle hardness that can only come from surviving adversity. He now sees Ben as a more complete fighter, someone who understands how to manage his aggression, conserve energy, and execute a plan without getting reckless.
Chris will give himself every possible chance that's going, but in reality, you know, personally, I just think the last performance of Chris, I thought, you've got nothing left. You've got there's no more improvement on what I'm seeing there. And I know there was a weight issue and all the build up to it. I thought there's no more improvement there.
Does that mean you think do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left from Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap,
yes,
get an outcome in his second fight?
Without a doubt.
You do?
He couldn't have done any more. If he could have knocked out Conor in that fight, he would have done.
Yeah.
He just couldn't get rid of him. And Conor stuck it. So regardless of him being surprised, that Conor stuck it out a lot more.
Dave Ellen echoed that same sentiment but added a crucial factor into the mix: Eubank's weight. At 36 years old, Ellen worries about how Eubank will handle cutting down again under the same conditions as before. The rematch will take place at the same weight limit, with a strict rule allowing no more than 10 pounds of rehydration after the weigh-in. Ellen feels that this could leave Eubank drained and vulnerable, especially in the later rounds. In his eyes, Ben's best chance to win lies in his conditioning and pace. If Eubank fades even slightly, Ben's intensity and non-stop pressure could break him down and possibly force a stoppage as the fight goes on.
If I had to put my neck on the line, which is what this video is about, at this stage, I'm going to go for a Conor Benn win. And my old man will definitely disagree. My old man will say Eubank is still going to be too big. It's still going to be too good. I just think a combination of Eubank having to make the weight again, because I think he struggles no matter what anyone says. He definitely struggles to make middleweight. The rehydration clause, maybe it's not big as an issue as people say it is. It still is an issue. And that coincided with, he's not getting any younger, and that was a really hard fight, along with the fact that that will probably do Conor Benn some good. Bit more experience, he's been there now, he knows he can bother Eubank, he knows he can hurt him. I want to go for a Conor Benn win.
Adding even more spice to the discussion, rising contender Hamza Shiraz made one of the boldest predictions yet. He's confident that Benn will stop Eubank within 6 rounds, and Shiraz believes that making weight will take too much out of Eubank, leaving him too depleted to deal with Benn's aggressive tempo. He thinks that if Ben starts fast, focuses on body shots, and keeps the pressure high, Eubank won't be able to recover. For Shiraz, it's not about luck, it's about strategy. If Ben sticks to the plan and keeps Eubank on the back foot, he could take control early and end the night before even the halfway point.
What's your prediction, Ben or Eubank?
I've got Conor Benn to win inside 6 rounds. I feel like the weight will affect Eubank too much on how it affected him before as well. And it was a hard fight. It wasn't an easy fight. Yeah, Conor Benn to win inside.
Meanwhile, Peter Fury offered a more balanced perspective. He believes the key to victory for either man will come down to emotional discipline. Fury has seen Ben's aggression both help and hurt him in past fights, and when Ben channels that fire with patience, he can dominate. But when it turns into recklessness, he becomes vulnerable. Fury sees this rematch as an opportunity for Ben to prove he's learned that lesson. The challenge, according to him, is for Ben to maintain that fine line between pressure and composure, fighting with both his heart and his head.
No, I don't know. I think Ben can do more, and he's going to learn from it, the first one. So. And Eubank looked drained at that weight. I'm surprised he's gone in again for the same weight, same rules, because you could see he looked like he was struggling to get to that weight, and it showed in there at times. So I think it's a 50-50. You know, Ben's in with a better chance this time than the first time.
Ben said he's going to box more in the second fight. Is that the game plan you would deploy, or?
Yeah, you've got to box. Look, it's called boxing for a reason. You know, you've got to box. When you're looking for big shots and take somebody's head off, somebody will pick you apart. You know, this is skill set in there. At this level.
Liam Smith, who knows Eubank well from sharing the ring with him, has a slightly different take. He leans toward Ben this time, mainly because he feels Eubank might have already peaked. Smith thinks Ben's youth and rapid improvement since their first fight could be decisive. After spending 12 rounds in the ring together, Ben now understands Eubank's timing, rhythm, and tendencies. That kind of first-hand experience, Smith believes, is invaluable. If Ben can use that knowledge to anticipate Eubank's moves and adapt mid-fight, he could very well turn the tables.
Big rematch, Ben and your old foe, Eubank Jr. How do you see that one playing out? you know what, watching the first fight was a great fight, better fight than I expected.
Yeah.
But I kind of thought, I think Eubank's one fight away from being done. I thought his balance was shot to bits. I've seen him sparring, knee pads on and stuff. But I just thought, wow, you're one fight away from being done. I think the rematch is a good fight, probably a better fight than I first predicted, if that makes sense. And I think Conor's got even more of a chance in the rematch.
George Groves, another familiar face from Eubank's past, sees the rematch as more than just another fight. He views it as a pivotal moment in both careers. To Groves, their first clash was pure theater, two proud fighters carrying heavy family legacies, both determined to prove their worth, but now everything feels more personal, more defining. For Benn, it's about redemption, proving he can rise above defeat and become stronger for it. For Eubank, it's about legacy and survival. A loss at the stage, Groves argues, could close the door on major opportunities, including world title shots and potential blockbuster bouts against stars like Canelo Alvarez. The kind of pressure, he says, can either sharpen a fighter or crush him entirely.
One different caveat, if you like, to this is Bomac is back.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
That is interesting. Now, he gave credit to Jonathan Banks for last time, but Bomac is different. He is different.
Different gravy.
I mean, the best we ever seen Chris Eubank Jr., in my opinion, was the Liam Smith rematch.
Yeah.
Bomac training him. Did you hear what Bomac said? This would send shivers down my spine when he goes, oh yeah, I had a look at that fight. Oh, there's a lot I can work with. You're like, if you're Conor Benn, you're sitting there going, oh,
Yeah. I would love Chris to put the ego away and get to America and let Bomac train you over there.
Oh, that'd be the...
You want to be in that gym. You want to be surrounding those little killers and sparring those guys, right? You want to be sparring those smaller guys who are like as fast as Conor and nippy as Conor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they will. And he'd probably, listen...
He'll get lit up by some of them. He'll get lit up by some of them.
But believe me, it's going to pay you dividends.
Ronnie Davis revealed that things before their first fight weren't as smooth as they seemed, and according to him, there were distractions and logistical hiccups that disrupted training and focus. This time, he insists, everything has changed. The camp is running with precision, nutrition, recovery, conditioning, and mental preparation are all being handled meticulously. Davies believes this version of Eubank will step into the ring sharper, fresher, and more disciplined than ever before.
This time, what I know, there's a few issues last time, which I can't talk about, Izzy. But this time, Ziggy, when we talked to Ziggy before, sorry mate. This time I'll do it right, and you'll see a different Eubank, and I think he'll finally make an easier job. But then again, you don't know with Benn. He's very determined young kid, very fit, very powerful, and he's young. And he'll fight his heart out. So,
As fight night approaches, one thing is certain, the narrative surrounding Eubank Jr. and Benn has evolved far beyond simple rivalry. It's now a battle of pride, growth, and resilience, and the first fight answered questions about who could endure more, but the rematch will answer a deeper one. Who has truly learned and adapted from the war they've already shared? Eubank Jr. is promising violence, Benn is promising redemption, and the boxing world is watching every move. When the lights go down at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on November 15th, it won't just be about strength or speed, it will be about who can control the chaos and who walks away having proved that the lessons of the past were never forgotten.